guys, and welcome to my first ever plan with me video ever. Why did I say ever 2 times? Anyways, first off, we are starting with my cover page, and here I am peeling off my rubber stamps and transferring them to an acrylic handle, and it sounds like I'm giving you a little rubber stamp tutorial that you never asked for. I then used a black brush pen to shape the stamps. This is the Koi coloring brush pen, but you can use Tombows or perhaps any other brush pen as well. I then extracted a scrap piece of paper from my junk box where I keep what I like to call artsy recyclable items, but what my dad likes to call trash. I then used the handle to stamp the letters onto this paper. After cutting the extra parts off with some scissors, I then decided to punch some holes onto the crumpled piece of paper to give it a notebook, a paper vibe. I then traced and cut out this lovely circle from a brown piece of decorative paper to use as a background for my cover page and add to that vintage vibe we're going for. I then glued the scrap of paper from earlier onto my cover page and added a strip of vintage themed washi that I ranted about in my previous stationery haul. And more floral rubber stamps. I also felt that things were looking a bit plain at the top, so I added a couple of dot stickers for that additional little tiny detail. Oh, this floral cutout was a hand-drawn doodle by me. And I just added this maroon colored washi tape and these star washi tapes afterwards. If you've noticed, the punch holes on this scrap of paper are a bit Yankee, but I feel like they're the aesthetic kind of Yankee, like they've been ripped out from a notebook. Fun fact, this random ripped paper thingy was from the label of a fruit jam I ripped off and kept in my junk box. All in all, it's literally just trash, but you'll be surprised with how artsy trash can be sometimes. Well, that's something I thought I would never say. I didn't have a particular methodology for this cover page, but in summary, it's just lots of vintage inspired washi tape and floral stamps, and layering them all together to produce a vintage mix. It was a slow process, partially because I really took my time while doing it and seeing which composition would work the best for me, and partially because I was kind of panicking and spent unnecessary time debating the next step in my head while filming this because I was so worried I would fuck up. Here is the final look. Is it unnecessary and hella extra? Yes. Dare say, this is by far my favorite cover page I've ever created in my lifetime. I guess it's because I finally decided to give in to the algorithm and purchase so many stamps and washi tapes, which definitely spiced up my spreads a bit more than my horrible art and drawing attempts. Moving on to my other hella extra spread, the calendar spread. You may be wondering, in what way can you make a calendar spread look super extra and possibly ostentatious and unnecessary? And oh baby, I sure can. My first step was to sketch out the calendar on another sheet of paper. Because of all the layering I did on the cover page, I figured drawing straight lines on its flip side wouldn't be a smooth process. I decided to use the same lined paper that I used earlier. There's nothing much to say for this, just basically do your measurements because I didn't, which was a mistake as you will see later on, and make sure your lines are straighter than the straightest person you've ever known. I then filled my calendar up with the dates of September starting from Monday to Sunday. Here's the final look, and now it's time to cut this baby out. After cutting it out, I then punched some holes onto the side to give it that notebook aesthetic. So actually this is the part where I fucked up because I didn't do any measurements beforehand. I obviously didn't know the length of how my calendar was supposed to be, and it couldn't fit into one page, so I ended up having to cut off my very nice holes. And because I was really stubborn and still wanted that notebook aesthetic, I proceeded to punch more holes into the sides of my calendar, which didn't turn out great. I'ma just say that. We got a polka dot business going on. I wasn't very proud of it, but that's just what I ended up working with. Let's just work with that. You know how it be sometimes. I then proceeded to stamp Sept, short for September, onto the top, in which I fucked up again. I am really killing it with this spread, but it's partially because the font for this one was so freaking confusing and I was really in dire need for some big brain time when it comes to transferring them onto the acrylic handle. No worries, I am covering up with more vintage paper, cause you know, you do what you do when you do something irreparable and beyond redemption. You cover it up. I got it. Lastly, I transformed my basic calendar into the most flamboyant and extra calendar ever with more stamps, washi tape, colors as pictured, and indecisiveness as not pictured, cause God knows it's totally practical to fill your calendar up with an abundance of stamps and washi tape so you can never jot any appointments and notes in it. Honestly, the initial concept towards my calendar was much more minimal. I just had this idea of the bird sitting on a branch whilst its feathers drift towards the ground. But needless to say, I got carried away. Next, I glued my college schedule onto the bottom left of my calendar and I set aside another spot for me to jot down my assignments and their respective deadlines. At this point, I was really fucking tired of filming, so the extra in me just shriveled up and died. Naturally, according to past experiences when I'm really fucking busy, especially during a hectic college week, I never complete all my trackers, especially my habit tracker, because I just wander from day to day doing assignments and shit, so who cares about all my daily self-love habits when there are academic journals to read, statements to cite, and the APA format to adhere to. But I do want to know whether I'm getting enough sleep and my mood levels. The smiley face represents genuine happiness, the mad face represents being stressed, and the unhappy face represents being stressed, sleep-deprived, struggling to produce my assignment, and going through an existential crisis all at the same time. How it works is that I would just fill in the boxes with a number stating my hours of sleep, and I would use a different pen color to write down all those hours according to my mood. Welcome to the last part of this plan with me and also the second part of a non-extra spread because I was really hungry and tired by the time I was filming this, and I've done this layout before in July. I really liked its simplicity and oh boy am I in need of simplicity because my life has been a freaking mess so far, so I just wanted to bring this spread back. First of all, I wrote down September at the top again because I love reminding myself like 3 times during this setup that it is September and the starting date of my first day of the first week and the last day of the first week. Wow, what a tongue twister. I then wrote down Monday to Sunday in this simple font, which is a great hack for using brush pens if you suck at calligraphy like I do. I then drew 5 tiny circles under each day for me to jot down my 5 priorities, aka top tasks of the day beside them. I then added a little section at the top for additional future important dates and notes and a simplified weekly habit tracker at the bottom. And that brings us to the end of this video. Here is the final flip through. I hope it was somewhat informative or enjoyable. Maybe it inspired you to start your own bullet journal. Maybe it piqued your interest in washi tapes and stamps. Well, whatever the case, I hope there was something to take away from this video and see you in the next one.